Good morning and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim and I am your host here today. I would like to welcome all of you who are tuning in today, whether it's your first time or your 25th time. This is episode 28 and I'm just really glad to have you all here. Today is August 24th and it's Wednesday. This will probably go out on Thursday, but this is Wednesday right now. And I do have one new person who has joined the group in the past week, and that is, I'm going to say her name wrong, Monani 1938, who's from Pennsylvania, and I want to say hi and welcome. Whether you're new or whether you've been here many times, I love you all, and I welcome you all to this group. Whether you're new or you've been here before, could you please go to my Ravelry page and sign in as a member if you've not already done that? My Ravelry page can be found under Naturally Kim's Knitting, and all you have to do is sign in there as a member. If you want to introduce yourself in the introduction thread, I would love that. Otherwise, it's just a place for us to get together. You could talk about the shows that I put out or just whatever you might want to. Um, I love doing this podcast, and I love it when I get new people to join, and it just makes my day. Anyways, let's see, what do I want to start with today? I did my welcomes. I did finish a hat this past week, but I think it got put with the finished items because it's not here with my things. And so if you would like to see it, I call it the Bumblebee hat. But it is on my blogger account, Naturally Kim's Knitting, where you can also find my show notes. Um, it will also be on WordPress under Naturally Kim's Knitting. So you can find it either one of those places. I like it. I think it's cute. My husband said it looks like the colors that you see at a taped off area to keep people out. I don't care. I still like it. It is made out of highlighter yellow and a black that I happen to have in my stash. I don't know where it came from, but it was just used in there. So anyways, if you'd like to see that, please go to my blogger page and check it out. Let me know if you think it should be called Bumblebee Hat or Danger Zone. Yeah, either way, it's fine with me. Anyways, I'm going to continue on with the program right now, and go right on to what is on my needles. Just a moment. You're going to see me bend out of the picture just a moment because I have my things on the floor. As I dump this out, the first thing I want to show you is my Carol Sunday milkweed pattern. Last week, I showed you I'd made it that far on the left front. Well, I've continued on and I've made it a little bit farther. And I like this little shaping here. You just kind of make it curve around on the front, and I really kind of like that. I'm sorry, I'm showing you the back. But I like the color, I like the pattern. It works up quickly. I haven't worked on it as much as I wanted to this week because I've been doing something else that I really wanted to get finished. Anyways, this is Milkweed by Carol Sunday. It is a pattern you have to pay for. And it's made out of Ella Ray heathers, classic heathers. And I can't remember, I always forget what size needles these are. They're not marked on the needles. So I have to always look on the pattern. They're either 6s or 7s. They're US 7s, 4.5 millimeters. I was amazed. Usually when I do a swatch, my gauge isn't anywhere where it's supposed to be. This time it truly was, which did totally surprise me. Excuse me again. My next thing that I'm working on, I have a lot today. My Hubby Sweater. I do not have a progress keeper as to where I was the last time, but I have been working on it, and I know I said last week I would make it to the welt. I didn't measure right, and instead of having 1 inches, I had several inches. So I haven't made it to the welt yet. I will soon. The welt, as you can see, is where the markers are, and there's like a little seam line there, and that's to give the underarm stretch and to help the sweater last longer. Now this is made out of 100% Highland wool, and it's dyed by myself in what I'm calling dandy green. And like I mentioned last week, if I have any of this left after I'm all done, I will be putting it up for sale. And even if I don't have any of this left, it is going to be a regular color that I put in my Etsy shop. That does not look, that looks rather, it doesn't look as bright as it actually is. I don't know why. That's closer. Anyways, I love it. My husband loves the green, and as you can see, there's little different shades throughout, and that's what we both kind of love about it. So this is my hubby sweater, and yes, when I get it finished, I will be putting it up in Ravelry, but that will be a little while yet. I do love it. Now, anybody who follows me knows that I work on chemo caps a lot. Well, when I came back from California, I noticed, I knew I was missing one, but I couldn't find it, and I couldn't find it. Well, yesterday, I found it. And it is actually made out of chroma worsted men's Arida is what I'm going to say, is how you pronounce it. And these are also on size 6 needles. And this is, as far as I've gotten, I got on it before I came home. But this is the color. Sorry, I still don't have my camera directions right. So, anyways, I love these hats. I was just so tickled that I found this one. So, and of course, you know, as I said, I found that one, but I had already started another one. And I love this color. It is also Knit Picks, but it is wildflowers. Look at those colors. And it works up in just such lovely, lovely little stripes. I'm loving it. I have had a blast watching the Olympics and working on my little hats or my husband's sweater while I've been watching them. It's fun, and it makes the time go fast, and now I'm back to my regular programming while I knit, and so it's it's still fun. It's just I catch myself during really climactic parts of the shows because I do it while I'm bouncing on the ball, my exercise ball back there, and I'll catch myself bouncing on the ball faster and knitting faster, and things get done a lot faster that way. It's rather remarkable. The next thing that I have to show, yeah, I'm going to show it. It's my George sock. I'm going to hold it back a little bit because I really don't want to show you the pattern too much. But this is my George pattern. I will be putting it on Ravelry after I get this sock completed, probably the pair of socks completed. I would like to have a pattern tester for it, but I need to wait. What I might do is do like I did the last time, and the first 5 people who would like to purchase it, as long as they post pictures of it on the Ravelry account, I don't mind giving it away free. I just would really like to have somebody double check my work, make sure my number's okay. Now, the same George that I did my husband's yarn out of, which was this green, okay? I then did it in a yarn that's 50% merino wool, 25% super alpaca, and 25% nylon. And look at the color difference. I knew that dyeing up on different bases would give you different colors. Just had no idea. Now, I'm not saying I don't love this. I love this. I really do. And in fact, right now I'm working on another super secret project for Cece on Java Pearls Design. And so when I just started it last night. So I can show you how far I've gotten, because it is a sock. But that's as far as I've gotten. The toe. So if I had gotten any farther, I wouldn't be showing it to you. But that was one reason why I didn't get as far on my sweater last week, was I had just finished another super secret design for her, and the pattern is gorgeous. But you work it inside out, which means there's a lot, you do pearls instead of knits, and there's a lot of pearls. And I did not realize how much purling yarn affects my thumb. And oh, I would go to bed every night and my fingers would just be killing me. that's just me though. That's because of my arthritis. I highly recommend the design, but I can't tell you anything more about it yet. It's not been released yet. But as soon as it is, probably next week, I'll be showing you the socks, and then I can rave about the pattern and everything, because I do love the pattern. So, okay, excuse me one more time. The next project I have to show comes out of the Cute, Cuter, Cutest. Knit Toys to Love in 3 Sizes by Knit Picks. And I did tell you last week that I was going to start, a Diplodocus, I'm not straight or anything today, for my grandchildren. And I'm going to make the largest one. And if you remember, I dyed my yarn and everything last week, and I got it all wound up into balls. And yesterday, now I remember why everything's falling out, I finished leg number 1. I just have to stuff it. But that's leg number 1. Yay! I had to go on to something else because I was just getting so totally distracted with the other knitting that was hurting my fingers. And so I had to have something else to turn to. And I couldn't wait to tell my granddaughter that I'd actually started on her dinosaur. Hers or my grandson's. I'm not sure which one's going to get it yet. Excuse me just a moment. Okay, sorry, I got really thirsty and I wanted to get a drink of something. I have one more thing to show you. I'm proud of this. This is also going to be a regular yarn that I put in my store when I do start it, and it's getting closer and closer to happening. This also is merino, alpaca, and nylon yarn, and look at that. I sent a picture to my daughter and my granddaughter because they are both so creative. And I said, so give me a name that you think for that. And my daughter goes, the first thing I thought of was partly cloudy. And not sure where the red works in on that, but I don't care. That's what it's going to be called, partly cloudy. It does have a mauve type of color and a bright blue, a turquoise actually, and then white. And no, I really wasn't going after the American flag. I let my husband pick the colors out, and he picked those out. And we decided to go with the 3 striping. This is self-striping yarn. And we decided to go with, it's 4 stripes, but it's going to be red, white, blue, white. So, and as soon as I start working it up, I will show you. I cannot work it up until I either get my super secret project done or my George socks done. So it will be a little while, but that's going to be next on my needles. As far as what I have been working on, I have to look around, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And I don't believe I am. I think I've got everything. I'm still not, I'm going to frog the blanket I was working on. I'm going to be starting another one. I have not done it yet. Like I said, I wanted to get the super secret socks done for Cece. And now, if I find time in my day, I will go back to it. But it's not anything for any deadline. It's just for me. So I'm not too much of a, not worried too much about that. Okay, now, some things that have made me happy. I know you get very, very tired of hearing me say this, but my granddaughter, when she calls me, just makes me so totally thrilled. We started, any of you who know me know that I really liked Loch Ness Monster. In fact, my second dog, after I got married, was named Nessie for Loch Ness Monster. And I'll probably call another one that somewhere down the line. But I love, the Loch Ness Monster has just fascinated me. And nobody has proven that he can't really be there, or she, or it. It could be. We don't know. So, you know, it just fascinates me. So I've made up a story with my granddaughter, with Loch Ness Monster, who can not only take you, he's a flying and magic Loch Ness Monster, so he can take you wherever you want to go. So my granddaughter has then started retelling the story to my daughter when they were going to story time. And I went, oh, she did listen and she does remember, because right now Nessie has taken us back to the medieval times. So, you know, I'm just so tickled by that. So it just makes me so happy. Then the other thing that makes me really happy this week was the yarn that I dyed. I love how it turned out. It's just gorgeous. And it's when I do things like this, I think, I can sell this yarn. And when I do, you'll be able to find it under Napier's Yarns. So, under Etsy. So just keep that in mind. I'm just so tickled by that. Okay, this is a fast podcast again, but that's okay. Because now I'm getting to the things that I've been reading, watching, and listening to. As you know, I love Geek and Sundry. I love Critical Role. And on Geek and Sundry, they also have a show called Foreververse, which is also another role-playing show. And I do love it. I do love it. They have another show called Game to Game. Yeah, Game to Game. And each week they bring out a different game, and they play it for the people. So we can see, sometimes when you go to a store and you see a game, it's like, well, I might like that, but you get it home, you play it once, and Well, this way you can actually see what it's like when it's played. And so it's kind of fun. I really, really do. I enjoy each one of those shows, and that's something I've been watching, along with, of course, Geek Girls Knits. Cece did have surgery a week ago, and now I understand she's home and doing better. Yay! So glad, Cece. But I haven't watched their latest episode, but I have watched all the rest. And then, of course, there's Beyond the Schoolhouse, Schoolyard, my daughter's blog. Oh, she is so creative. The things she thinks to do with my grandchildren around a theme each week. It's just amazing. Last week, there's an Indian holiday, and I don't remember what it's called. But she started off saying how, there's a Mother's Day and a Father's Day and Grandparents' Day. But, kids are always saying, well, why isn't there a Kids' Day? Well, there actually is a day where you can honor your siblings. Now, I would take it a step farther if I had an only child and say they could also honor friends. But you do this by making a bracelet for them. And so my granddaughter made one for my grandson, and her mom made one for her because my grandson's only 7 months old. Not quite old. I'm sorry, he's 7 months old. He's not quite old enough to make them yet. But he loved taking them both and jangling them. And now there's one big bracelet. So my granddaughter wears it, and it has a little dangling thing to it because they cannot get them untangled. Enough grandchildren. Anyways, that was part of Beyond the Schoolyard. I can never say I'm sorry for talking about my grandchildren because, I love them. Okay, my husband and I every night have been reading, well, we've actually been reading three different things, but one's a devotional called Heaven Declares, a prophetic decrees to start your day by Hakeem Collins. It's a really good book. And I swear, out of the last 4 days, 2 of them were speaking to issues that I have in my everyday life. I always worry about what other people think about me, and along that same route, I worry about having people say hateful things about me or whatever. And this has addressed those. And at the end of each reading and scripture and everything, there's a number of decrees. And you're supposed to put those upon your heart to get you through the day. And I tell you, we do them at night, but we read them out loud. And they stay with me, and it's like, okay, I can get through this. So anyways, Heaven Declares, prophetic decrees to start your day. Great book. And then this is actually a book I've been reviewing called A Year Without a Purchase by Scott Dannemiller. At first I got it, I thought, oh, it's going to be one of those funny books. And it is funny, but it's absolutely true. This couple decided that they needed to find a way, or they wanted to find a way to step back from the commercial world and be able to devote their time to helping others and to worshiping God and connecting bonds with their families even closer. And this tells about how they do it. And my husband and I have just gotten through the rules, and we're into the chapter where we talk about the first pitfall that they come to, which I know what it is, but I can't say because my husband hasn't heard it yet. And he might listen to this, so I don't want him to know before we get there. But it's a very good book. If you've ever had thoughts like that, check this out, A Year Without a Purchase by Scott D. I. Miller. There is a link in my blogger notes and in my WordPress notes that will take you to the page in Amazon. Now, if you were to purchase it through that link, it doesn't cost you any extra. All that happens is just a little portion of your purchase will come back to my account so that I can then use it to buy equipment, pay for mailings. When I get 10 members, we're going to start having drawings and knit-alongs and things. So, you know, if you purchase through my link, that's all that means. There's no extra charge. Okay? Then the last book that we've been reading together is Always Hungry by David Ludwig. Now, you've heard me profess about the Whole30. And yes, I still say Whole30 is a great way to go. My husband was having some issues with it, and while I was out in California, you know, I modified a little bit, and I'm still thinking that I'm doing okay, but I'm stuck. I want to lose more. Well, obviously, I need to lose more weight, but I'm hoping by jump starting it with this will help. Instead of focusing on calories and all this, he's focusing on the fat cells and how to get the energy out of the fat cells to help you and to help your body feel and look and everything better. We haven't started it yet. In about a month and a half, no, 2 months, I'll be going out to Lake Tahoe with my whole family and my son-in-law's family, and we stay in a big house out there. And when we get back from that, then my husband and I are going to start it together. So it will be interesting. I'll let you know as we go along. Right now we're just reading the book and making plans, but we'll be getting further along as we go. So anyways, that's what I have been reading and watching and listening to. I've been listening to different podcasts in the morning, but they really have nothing to do with knitting. And I started telling you about how I was listening to Catherine Swinford. I had it on my new little Kindle that I got, and for some reason I can't get it to play on there again. So I may have to see about putting it on my little Zune and just listening to it a little bit every day, because I don't know what happened, but I can't listen to it on my other thing anymore. Which I would much rather, I like doing that because I have these little headphones that I've paired with my Kindle Fire, and so I can listen to things and not bother other people. And it had quite a range on it, no cord involved or anything, so it was wonderful. Anyways, I'll get back to that, but that's why it's not listed in my things. Hopefully at the very beginning you will have noticed that I'm putting down where it can be found my different places. Any comments or anything you want to make about this podcast, please feel free to. I try to. I've not been very good, and I'm sorry, about putting my current episodes into Ravelry. I'm going to be getting back to that again. I just haven't been regular about it, and I started doing it again, and I'm going to keep it up. So anyways, you can keep me to that now. Any comments you have about this episode, please feel free to put into those notes. I do check it. I just haven't been regular about doing this. I'm sorry. So anyways, I think that's all I have to talk about today. This has been longer than I thought it would be, but I had a lot of things to show. Anyways, hope you guys all have a great week of knitting. Love you all. Big hugs. And I hope your week is full of wonderful knitting, no drop stitches, and very few frogs. Bye-bye.